She was also expanding her great theme. Remember, okay, let me talk about great controversy here. So this building over here is representing two things. It represents two things. When you go to the GC, Pastor, you will only see a wall. There's no actual door. There's no 19th century chapel at the GC. But here, kinumbay natin yung dalawa. So this depicts the story in Lovett's Grove in March 14, 1858, when Ellen White attended the funeral of a young. Suddenly he was caught up into vision. And for 4 hours they waited. You know, the people waited. What happened? And then when she rose up, she was taken into a vision that would be called the Great Controversy vision. This is the first vision. The second vision was in Second Meeting House in Battle Creek in 1858, May 23. Almost a little 1.5 months apart. And what was this vision all about? All these visions were recorded in these 4 volumes of spiritual gifts. So, Pastor, who really theologized on the spirit of prophecy? Actually, it is Ellen White. It's really Ellen White that has deep, because if you read this, especially in selected messages, if you read this, she was explaining about the theology of prophecy and visions, and how visions come about, how the Lord worked through the prophets. And so that was the first volume. And then she expanded it to spiritual prophecy, volume 1 to 4, and more expanded. Here you can see that she starts her chapters with I saw, I heard, I was instructed. But here she is more expanding it into a more, I would say, reaching out to a little bit to non-Adventist. Here she was encouraging the church, but here she is reaching out. But this one was made really for non-Adventist, beginning with the Great Controversy in 1888, where she was in, and what were the contents of this? Where she went in Europe, she was able to write it. When she went to the Waldensian village, when she went to Italy, when she went to France, Germany, she was writing the reformers from experiences that she had had. One time when she was in Waldensian village, she can even say, oh, there's something somewhere here. She was looking for some place, and it was there. So be to the place as if she was there personally at that that place happened. That was quite amazing. Okay, so the Great Controversy, and then later I think Patriarchs and Prophets, Acts of the Apostles, Desire of Ages, Acts of the Apostles, and then Prophets and Kings. By the way, in Patriarchs and Prophets, the introduction is by Uriah Smith, is explaining the gift of prophecy. So if you want to have the most comprehensive understanding of Seventh-day Adventists about prophetic gift, this is the introduction is the best, okay, if you want to understand that. So these are the corpuses of Ellen White. And when she was in, let me explain. Why do we put it prominent? Because this was the product of a great disappointment, if we sometimes think. But Ellen White received a vision, I think, in 1851, explaining that this chart is actually guided and inspired by God. Not one dot from here shall be changed without God's inspiration. Now, the question is, why was it 1843? If God guided, then why was it? Because, God's inspiration works incarnately, which means that, okay, God gives understanding, but human capacity sometimes do not fully understand. Like, for example, the disappointments on the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. Why did allow the disciples to misinterpret his first coming? And in the same way, why would God allow the end of the 2,300 days to be wrong? In the middle of the 70-week prophecy to be wrong. God allows human error so that people would be dependent on God and the inspiration that comes from the Holy Spirit. So I don't want you to miss that, Mark. The humanity of human beings does not limit God of His will. Okay?